Hi guys, and welcome to Let's Try Isbarah the First Journey. Isbarah is a platformer slash shoot 'em up slash bullet hell type game by Lycare Studio that is due to be released around the end of February at most, if not before then. And I also apologise if I'm pronouncing the name of the game or the dev studio incorrectly. I have actually tried to record this a couple of times, and each time my pronunciation of it I think is getting worse and worse, so I've decided, you know what, I'm going to stick to what I just said, which was Isbarah, I think, and hope for the best, really. But yeah, I actually done a recording of this just prior to this one, and unfortunately my microphone was not selected properly, so I'm going to go into it again and hope that, because I have just played a couple of the levels before, or I've done one level and then I kept failing at the second level, but I'm hoping that because I have just got a little bit of practice in, that now I'm going to go in and nail it and look like a complete and utter professional at this game. So I'll show you the options menu to begin with. So we can play, you've got different texture quality, which I haven't really noticed a difference in the texture so far, but I haven't really actively checked the other ones. By default I think it is set at good. I switched it up to fantastic, and you can change the screen resolution, whether you want it full screen or not, things like that. You can change the sound. I think my sound levels seem fine just now. I might turn things down just a slight touch here. And we've got our input, so the game is controlled by keyboard and mouse. I don't think there are any plans at the moment for controller support, however I could be wrong about that. That might be something that they are looking towards doing in the future, but as for now I think the game works quite well with keyboard and mouse. So it's your WASD keys or just your ADS as listed here, because I don't think there's really any time you need to use the W key, because essentially you're just using space for that to jump. And slow motion, which I have actually yet to use, is left shift. I don't know if that's an ability I haven't unlocked yet. And you can also swap your left and right mouse buttons, which I don't feel the need to do. And you can change the language, so there is at the moment French and English, and there is a couple of things I've noticed with the English translation that could use a little bit more work, and I'll point them out as I go along. It's not a criticism of the game, as I understand that they are currently working on the translations at the moment, as this is just a preview build. It's more or less, I just want to point out the translation issues that I'm noticing on, and I'll also email my thoughts on this to the dev, and hopefully, you know, they'll have things ironed out by the time the game is released on Steam around the end of February. And it should be noted, I am not the best at English myself. English is the language I was born and raised with, and even I struggle with it a lot of the time. So we'll play. So we've got different chapters here. There is a story to the game. I'm not going to spoil it too much, I guess you could say, by telling you what the story is. We'll find out as we go along in this Let's Try. And we've also got a progression screen here. My rank is quite low. The most I got here is 5 with God, and that was my best score. My score in the last recording that I done of this was absolutely terrible. I don't even want to talk about it, and I can't beat Abaddon, but you'll see why. It's just I chose to play in hard mode when it came to having to be up against Abaddon, and I think I might just go for normal mode in this playthrough. So chapter 1, God. So this is a tutorial level, and I feel it's better just to dive into the tutorial level to show you how the game mechanics work, as opposed to diving into Abaddon and trying to explain it myself, when the game does a pretty good job of explaining things. My only criticism of it, and I think it's more of a problem on my end, is I found the controls a little bit clunky to use at first. However, bear in mind I'm not always the best at controlling with a keyboard and mouse. My brain gets a little bit confused trying to work out what it is I have to do, but it's something that the more I done of the level, the better I got at it. So I'm not going to skip the tutorial or the dialogues, and we'll just, yeah, confirm. So again, as it's a tutorial level, I cannot change the difficulty level, but that's fine, it's no big deal. I will display the timer and I will start the battle. So we'll get in the loading screens these little I guess, tips about the game and stuff, which is quite interesting. The game loads fairly quickly, so I've never really had much time to read what it is they're saying. And I absolutely just adore the art in this game and these little screens here which are telling the story. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I also want to talk about the music as well. Now, when it comes to games, I think music can be a hard thing to get right. I think if it's too noticeable, it can really detract you from the experience of the game. See what I mean about me being terrible at English? I stumble over my words. I know exactly what I'm trying to communicate, I just cannot get the words out. But I think if the music is too noticeable, it can really detract from the experience of the game, especially if it's something that doesn't really seem to fit in with the genre of the game as well. I think it can be something tricky to get right, and I quite like the music in this game just because it's not overly noticeable, and I think it really does fit the style of the game. So, our world is not the only existing universe. There exists an imaginary world to which all human spirits are connected. Human imagination is constantly creating life in this universe, making creatures in their environment limitless. This effervescent, always growing universe is ruled by one God. As the master of all lives and all the laws that rule them, he is responsible for peace and makes sure this world does not sink into chaos. His only daughter was born 15 years ago, and now it is time for her to start helping her father. Are you ready to obtain your power? So this here is God, he is our father, and we are playing as the main character. I think our name is Aria. Again, I am most likely butchering this name and I apologise. And I just want to keep gushing about this art style. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous, just the way they've done it. Especially that they've managed to fit it in the sort of comic style elements of this. I believe, is it probably inspired more by, I want to say, manga comics? This is stuff that I'm actually not completely knowledgeable about, so I don't want to say for sure, but yeah, it does seem a little bit inspired by that, the art style and the way this is done, and I quite like it. Yes, father. Alright, do not let me down. So it's things like that. I think sometimes it can be contracted down. I understand that as God, he most likely would be speaking a little bit more formally, but I feel like "don't let me down" would flow off the tongue better, but this could just be because I am reading it out, so I notice these things more. But anyway, our timer is ticking, so again, we use the A and D keys to move. So this is your sort of platforming elements that are going to be coming up now, as we jump up to these places here. Now, we don't want to walk into these things here as they affect our health, as you'll see here. So we want to go back here. Yep. And then to go through these things, or to go down essentially, you hit S, which is pretty standard. So we want to catch this power ball, so we want to go through this here, and then down, and then catch up to it, and ideally move when you're jumping. I hear that tends to help. Oops. Over here, and then jump up and grab it. We also get a dash as well, and here I guess is our dash power meter levels. So you'll see once I actually do a dash, we'll just dash up here, that it does go down. It didn't really show off there, but you will see it in the next part, probably. Don't forget that the dash only starts when you release the button. This allows you to target precisely. So we want to dash up here, and you can see that went down, so we get 2 uses of our dash. 2 uses? 2 usage of our dash. Yeah, we'll go down here, and then over to here. Whoops, ideally don't fall. And then we can combine jumps and dashes to move further like that. So if we want to reach that. And then we want to get up there, so we'll do a jump and then dash twice, and here we are. So we want to leave this maze, and again, we don't want to walk into or hit these things here, so we'll dash down. And then jump and dash twice to get up here, or ideally we would. There we go. And then I think maybe just jump and then dash, go down, over here, dash. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. It actually took me a little while to get through this maze, admittedly, just because I was having trouble with my jumping and dashing the first time I played through it, but it does get easier the more you play. Okay, let's be serious now. Dodge my direct attack. So we want to dodge the bullets now, so this is where the whole bullet hell thing kind of comes in. And then we've got indirect attacks as well, which is when it's essentially raining bullets and you just don't want to get hit by them. Activate the railguns to destroy your opponent's shield. So the shield would go down like this. Use your dash to start them up, then keep close to their area of effect to charge them. So there will be a circle surrounding them that we want to try and stay in while they're charging. So dash up and then stay within this circle. And you'll see when I reach the next one, there will also be bullets going on at the same time that we want to try and avoid. We'll go down here, and then we want to get up here to this, so dash twice, jump down, and that puts his health down quite a bit, or his shields down I should say, which then brings us on to the next part. Once his shields are down, it goes on to this. When he's in danger, your enemy casts a spell and unleashes his fury. You must survive and stay in a central circle to break his spell. This will give you a chance to strike. Alright, the more I stay in the circle, the faster I break the spell. So you want to try and stay in the circle as much as possible, just because it does speed it up, and avoid all of these bullets. As you go on, it will get a little bit more complex. You'll have bosses that have larger bullets that are trying to get at you, along with a whole bunch of them coming out at once. So again, it's more or less just about dodging in this, and stay in for as long as you can. Now you will notice that I said bosses. There is no waves of enemies when it comes to this game. Every enemy you encounter in each level is a boss, which I think, I've not really seen a game do that before, so I think it's quite an interesting mechanic that they've got. You did it. Now strike your enemy with your dash. If you're too slow, your auto aim will shoot for you, but the power released by a close quarter strike could help you regain some health. In any case, your enemy is hurt. It's time to strike back, like the Empire. Get ready, now we fight for real. So we want to dash up to him. So that's one of his lives gone, and we want to try and get this other life. So again, we'll get his shields down by dashing up to these. Oops, I meant to actually stay within the circle. I had to complicate matters by trying to do two at once. Damn, I walked into that. That was very dumb of me. Don't do what I just did. Probably. Unless you're better at the game than me. Which is very likely that you will be. Oh my god, why am I so horrible now? Yeah, dodge. Where am I going? I don't know. Is there another one over here? I think I keep making this mistake. I think the other one's over here. Yes, it is. And again, stay in the circle. And now it's time for when he casts his spell, and we have to stay in this larger circle and dodge the bullets. And as you can see, these are more bigger ones. Level 2 with Abaddon has absolutely massive ones that you have to try and avoid, and that's where I seem to just be absolutely terrible at it. There's no real need to jump about sometimes, as you can more or less get away with not having to worry. Dash over here as quickly as possible though. It's more or less just trying to find the right spot, and keep moving is a good way to just handle this, because I really don't like going out the circle just because it makes it take a little bit longer. So we mastered the spell, and then we want to dash up to him. We didn't quite manage to get up to him, but we did get an auto aim in, which killed him. But had we got closer to him, we would have dealt more damage. So what was our score now? Not as good as my first time, although, is it ever? Let's hit next. Both dash gauges are constantly loading, so yeah, that's what I was trying to show you earlier. Not bad, really, thanks God. I did not think it would be so cool. So yeah, it's things like that where if you're going to say a word like cool, you're most likely not speaking in a formal tone, so it would be more like, I didn't think it would be so cool, instead of, I did not think it would be so cool. So it's little things like that, like bearing in mind that in English we tend to make contractions of words, and it largely depends on the tone that you're trying to convey, I suppose, because you can do things like, I should not have done that, I should not have done that, I could not have done that, I did not think I could do that. And yeah, English is a tricky language. I feel like I can fly. I will give you an opportunity to use your powers right now. The leader of night creatures is attacking other designers. As it is your first battle. I always read it like that, as it is. This is like my second time trying to read that and I made the same mistake. I am going to help you. So we'll go to the next level, and I'm going to do normal mode this time. The only real difference, I think, is that in hard mode the boss has an extra life. So we'll just deal with 2 lives at the moment. These crystal supplied boots allow Isbarah to perform ultra fast dashes and unbelievable jumps. As a brutal fight goes on. Stop! Cannot you just make peace once in a while? So again, in this situation it would not be... See, I'm now actually not contracting my own words, it feels, and it's just making me sound like a hypocrite. But in this situation it wouldn't be, cannot you just make peace? It would be, can't you just make peace once in a while? So it's just little things like that that I hope that once the game is released at the, when did I say again, end of February, that these little things will be polished and just, you know, fixed. With these brutes, Abaddon, I hope I'm saying that right, Abaddon or Abaddon, I'm actually not sure how it's said. What do you want me to say, oh god? You know I cannot make them stop fighting. So I feel like in that situation it would be, you know, I can't make them stop fighting. Are you not supposed to be their leader? Young girl, you should not speak so much. Isbarah, execute the sentence. Very well. And now we are going to battle again. Dash the boss at the end of his spell to regain some health. So you can also click these things. I noticed in my own personal time, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Just because it passes the time, really. Although, as I noted, the game does seem to load fairly fast. So I want to go down here and dash at it. Again, I feel like these levels can get fairly repetitive, but I believe as the game goes on you unlock new abilities, which can make the game a little bit more complex and a little bit more interesting than what am I even trying to say now? Than if you were to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, like this. I need to get back in that circle. Alright, this is where I completely mess up. I managed to get him down to 2 health last time, but again I was in hard mode. So if I just concentrate, really, which means I might go a little bit quiet. I want to try and get up here. Ideally not walk into him, but I keep making that same mistake as well because I forget that he can dash. Crap. I forget that he can dash towards us and that would hurt us as well. Okay, so we're nearly done. And then we want to dash towards him. And we got a life bonus earned as well. Okay. So we're going through the motions of this again pretty much, which is dash towards this, stay in the circle, go up to the next one. I did dash towards that. I probably didn't actually. I think I dashed near it. Shh, crap! Alright, we'll continue. Yeah, I dashed near it, I didn't quite click on it to dash towards it. Can't remember where the next one is again. I need to stay out his way. Okay, up here. Oh my god, he's dashing towards me! Right, dodge the bullets, and then we'll go through to the larger circle spell modes. And avoid him as much as possible. So he's not using the bigger bullets right away here, he's using a lot more smaller ones. I need to find a good place to go right now. which has me staying in the circle. Okay, here we go. And now he's going to use the bigger ones. Okay, down here. Crap. Oh, actually I managed to miss him. I thought he was going to be able to dash right towards me there. And I messed it up at the final hurdle almost. But it's fine, we've dashed towards him and we earned a life bonus. And we put his level down. Now I wish I'd done that in hard mode, because I struggled so much the last time. So what was our score? Not bad. Rank 1 out of 7. I could have done better. We'll go next and we'll see who the boss is for this one. That was quick. So this is Manios. Learn your lesson, Manios. This world must stay in peace. They need a new leader. Roar! Excellent voice acting right there. Watch out! And you know what? I think this is where I'm going to wrap up this video here. So hopefully this preview has interested you a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing what the end result of this game is going to be, particularly when they've polished up some of the elements that I've pointed out so far, which is largely my issues is with the translation. It's nothing that's too noticeable. I think I just being a little bit nitpicky in a way. This is not the kind of game I would normally play, I think, because it would frustrate me so easily, and yet I find myself really enjoying it, so I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. So as I've mentioned a couple of times now, it's released on Steam around the end of February at maximum, if not before, and the price of the game will be $13.99 US. I'm unsure as to how that's going to translate when it comes to different regional pricing, like for example what it's going to be here. Will it be, you know, £13.99, or will it be, I guess with the exchange rate at the moment, about half of that? I don't know the exchange rate at the moment. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this Let's Try of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And I hope you're all having an amazing day, and I love you all. Bye!